there's that surrender piece that people are learning, and surrendering to acts of service that are far beyond them. And for example, I'll use a great example. I have a lovely client who actually is a pastor at a church. And she said to me the other day, Elizabeth, this acreage has just fallen into my lap. And this, local parishioner is saying, hey, do with whatever, do whatever you want with this acreage. And she said, now I'm getting these visions out of nowhere, and she's never had visions before. And she says, I'm getting all these visions of creating a community garden and having a healing space. How do I get this started? I don't even know the first thing about this. But it's those kinds of things. And I said, first off, make sure you're in full surrender, that you're not resisting this, because it's going to open up to serve your community in a way that is absolutely needed right now. It's that localism aspect. What can we do to get people out of their homes and actually connecting in person in our local areas, and being able to create places of stability emotionally, physically, in real time, beyond the internet? Because from there, that's where the new earth begins. It's in your personal life. It's with you, inviting your neighbors to communicate with you in an open way. It's with us starting little circles at our houses and, having potlucks once or twice a month just to check in with local people. Lots and lots of people all over the world doing this and being called out of nowhere to do it. And they're surrendering to it. It's always, there's a double sword, right? It's surrender and willingness. Mm-hmm. How willing are you? Checking in with yourself every day. How willing am I today to do this work? Right. And let's say you say, I'm not willing today. That's okay. That means you need a break. Mm-hmm. Like the other day, for example, I just had one of those days where I woke up and I was so overwhelmed. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can handle this today. And, normally I'd go and I'd sit down and I'd write out my to-do list and I'd pick something on there to get done or whatever. And I was unhappy. And I said, nope, I'm no good. I'm no good today. Taking a break, took the day off, just put my cell phone away and ran out into the woods to recharge, because that day I had no willingness. But we got to check in every day. How willing am I to do this? What is it going to take? And people get overwhelmed also because they're visualizing, they're leaking energy. They're visualizing lots and lots of worst case scenarios. Mm-hmm. And that's really important, because people leak energy when they do that. Yeah. And one of my tricks is when I catch myself doing that, I'll say, all right, I got to come back to 0 point. I got to come back to the now. Mm-hmm. And so I'll say, all right, well, what can I do? What's one small thing at this moment that I can do to mitigate that circumstance that I'm imagining? And then I will actually feel like I have more power, because actually the power isn't in the future or the past, it's in the moment. Mm-hmm. So zooming into the moment and saying, all right, I got to yank in all my energy here. I'm thinking about the past or the future, and I'm worrying about it. I'm worrying about how to pay the bills. I'm worrying about my living situation. I'm worrying about food, basics, and then some. Then we rein it in and we say, what's one small thing I can do right now to help myself heal? Or what's one small thing I can do right now to set up the future that I really want? Maybe it's a phone call. Maybe it's that you're going to fill out an application online. Just something, one small thing in that moment to rein in all your energy.